Into the papers, see what the headlines are saying across Nigeria this morning. But certainly I'm not alone. From the University of Lagos, Dr. Dan Ekere joining us this morning. Dr. Dan, Dr. Ekere, thank you very much. And we also have our public affairs analyst, Razaq Olokoba. Razaq, good morning.
Thank you, good morning.
It's nice to have you both.
At home.
Thank you. Right, let's begin with the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun is where we start from this morning. Atiku versus Buhari, judge steps down. Bukachua appeal court president disqualifies self from tribunal. There's no proof of bias by justice. Buhari is saying that, right? From the Daily Sun, let's move now to the Vanguard. Buhari orders trucks, tankers to vacate Oshodi-Apapa Expressway in 72 hours. He issues 2-week ultimatum to clear entire Apapa axis. Task force compounds gridlock investigation is revealing that. Okay, from the Vanguard, let's go to the Nation now. Atiku's motion rejected as court president quits panel. Olanikpekun hails Bukachua's decision. Ex-VP's lawyer, motion not personal. Okay, that's the Nation newspaper. From there, let's go to the Blueprint. Secure Katsina now. Buhari orders service chiefs and IGP. 18 farmers killed by bandits and buried. President vows to expose perpetrators. And Ishaku says security challenges beyond us as governors advocate state police. Okay, from the Blueprint, let's go now to This Day. Citing personal reasons, Bukachua withdraws from Atiku's petition. Right, that's what This Day has in there. Okay, from This Day, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. Atiku versus Buhari, Bukachua withdraws from presidential tribunal. Right, that's a development from there now. And the next one now is The Guardian. The Guardian is the next and the last paper. Now, many people don't believe Buhari cracks jokes and laughs. Ministers pay tributes at last cabinet meeting. That was at the valedictory session yesterday. And President explains retention of aids till May 28, praises Ocholi and others. Ocholi was the former minister who died in an accident just a few months after being sworn in. All right, gentlemen, I'd like us to talk about this development. The president, following the issues, the Apapa traffic gridlock, gave an order that it should be cleared within 72 hours and about 2 weeks to ensure that the whole of Apapa is gotten rid of traffic. One would say beautiful decision, beautiful order, and all of that. Razaq, let me start with you on this.
Well, it's sad enough that we have to allow you to get to a point where the president had to intervene. Just in the last administration of Fashola, yes, the problem existed, and he took a decision that was also going to be God, regardless of. So he waded in, and it became history. But we were shocked that shortly after the exit of Fashola, the thing started rearing its ugly head again. So one would wonder that, well, was there a miracle during Fashola's time that the present governor could not perform? And you also remember that last month officers were killed in that assist, and up to today, no report was given of who was brought to book. So those are things that pile up together that dampen the morals of enforcement agencies. So with the coming of the president, you must recognize an angle that 90% of the owners of those trucks are northerners. So maybe that is the fear of many of the state officials, that the relationship between the state and the federal, have to be careful with it. So maybe that was.
But why should it matter?
But with the intervention of the president now.
But why should it matter who owns it?
That's why. It's a signal now that the truck owners are not representing any interest in the north. What is important is that Lagos houses 52% of the economy of the nation, and nations
should anybody in that regard even,
because you spend 8 hours of production time in traffic, 4 hours go, 4 hours come. That is production time. So there's no how country can prosper in that manner. So that decision is a welcome arrangement, and the state governments will corroborate. Thank God that the government is coming. By this time, Thursday, someone will be talking to us as the governor of Lagos by the grace of God, and it should be done that statement that he has made.
He has said that 6 months.
He has given me
he said he will clear everything in 6 months.
Yes, that's a blank check.
Dr. Ekere, yeah. How does this come to you? Is it much of a relief, or how does this come to you?
Well, I'm yet to see the relief until they are out of that place. To be candid, whenever I have anything to do in Apapa, you know, it gives me a lot of fear, because when you're on that road, you never can tell where to get there and where to return. I'm telling you. And when you see the ugly faces of those, you know, containers and the rest of it, you begin to wonder, how did we get to this level? I don't think Fashola actually solved the problem. You know, Ambode didn't import this one. It's the same problem that has lingered, only that he was able to reduce it to a point, because if there were parks that were actually created at this, you know, containers and the rest of them could actually take that, including tankers, I'm not sure we'll get to this point.
But there are various holding bays that exist.
Are they operational? Now, when you get to Ijora there, you know, you see one of the spaces that was actually created for them. How many of those?
All right. Now, there are comments that remember when the last time the president came to Lagos, that day, no one knew where all the trucks disappeared to. So it means it is possible.
It's possible. That's what I'm saying. That is the will. I think the present administration in Lagos didn't exhibit or mop up enough will to do what they are supposed to do. And if you look at all the agendas,
but the ports is owned by the federal government, rather. Yeah. How much can the state government do?
No, the traffic is not the business of federal government. Traffic on that road is the business of Lagos state government.
Yeah, but the activities in the ports and the regulation of the ports.
So we are mystifying governance. Don't let us mystify governance. Only all the trucks in that axis, they are not up to 500 every day. So how can we say that a state that houses 20 million people cannot coordinate 500 trucks and tankers every year? If it is 5,000, what are we going to do? In the rest of the world, the activities there is just 1% of the activities in the world. Nigeria, even in Africa, we are number 17 in the world economy. 17. Not in the world, in the world economy. So what are we looking at? All the business we are doing there every day is not up to $2 million. So what about countries that do business of $2 billion, $5 billion per day? So that means the entire nation will be in crisis. So let's get our ass right and let us say the right thing. This administration has not done well in that regard, in the regard of the Apapa axis. And that is what should be the standing point for Sanwo-Olu that is coming next week now. And he has made it even one of these crucial cardinal principles that's going to work on that. It says 6 months. So that's good. I hope and I pray that he's going to do it. I hope you'll be able to do it.
All right.
I'm always very comfortable with this targets of 6 months. That was what was said about power and the rest of it. We'll continue like that. But don't forget that the federal government actually has he said the federal government has no hand on this traffic gridlock. Don't forget that the state of the road is part of the problem. You know, you find roads that you can't call them roads, actually, the way they are. You know, you just find gullies. All manner of things are there. And how do you expect vehicles to move smoothly? In some cases, while on the way, the containers are falling. So how do you say it's solely Lagos? The federal government has a hand in that. You know, but again, the major problem, really, is not just about the road. We have several ports in Nigeria. Why is it that only the one in Lagos are the ones that are working? That's a deliberate effort, I feel. Because at the time you activate the other ports, it will reduce
the pressure.
You wouldn't even have this pressure. So many of those goods that are shipped in are not actually for Lagos State. Some of them will be going to the east. Some will be going to other. Now, even the so-called petroleum products that we import, you find the crude in the southern part of the country. Now, the refined oil comes into Lagos before it will get to where there are ports and so many other facilities through which you can actually move these things directly. So this is a deliberate creation as far as I'm concerned. And I think that the federal government needs to really address it.
The gridlock is a deliberate creation? It is. Who is benefiting from it?
So you ask, who is benefiting? Because if it's not deliberate, why will you kill all the other ports? Why will you kill the ports?
Lagos has 70% for the product they are bringing in. So other regions should make their own region attractive for business.
No, when it comes to that,
it's part of it.
No, Razaq.
This is a function of the federal government.
To be fair, the federal government, the issue of the ports is on the exclusive list. It's the federal government.
No, I know, but there's no law that says that you can't take your goods from another place. There's no law that says that.
Now time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. And I have in the studio lecturer from the University of Lagos, Dan Ekere, and public affairs analyst Razaq Olokoba. It's good to have you join us this morning, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
And good evening, Azatu.
All right, some of the papers now from Daily Sun. It's leading this morning with Atiku versus Buhari. Daily Sun, Atiku versus Buhari, judge steps down. And riders to that story, Bulkachuwa appeal court president disqualifies self from tribunal. There is no proof of bias by justice. Buhari is saying that. And from there, moving on to Vanguard newspaper, Buhari orders trucks, tankers to vacate Oshodi-Apapa Expressway in 72 hours. Issues 2-week ultimatum to clear entire Apapa access. Task force compounds gridlock. Investigation is revealing that. The Nation newspaper now, Atiku's motion rejected as court president quits panel. Olanipekun hails Bulkachuwa's decision, ex-VP's lawyer, motion not personnel. That's it, the headline on the Nation newspaper. And from Blueprint newspaper, secure Katsina now, Buhari orders service chiefs, IGP. Riders, 18 farmers killed by bandits, buried. President vows to expose perpetrators. Ishaku says security challenges beyond us as governors. Advocates state police. That's from Blueprint newspaper. Moving on to this day newspaper now. Citing personal reasons, Bulkachuwa withdraws from Atiku's petition. That same story. And on the front page of Nigerian Tribune, Atiku versus Buhari, Bulkachuwa withdraws from presidential tribunal. All right, and the Guardian newspaper this morning, many people don't believe Buhari cracks jokes, laughs. Ministers pay tributes at last cabinet meeting. President explains retention of aid till May 28th, praises Ocholi. That's the outcome of the valedictory Federal Executive Council session held yesterday, Wednesday. Now, gentlemen, this headline on Blueprint newspaper, the directive by the president to service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police to secure Katsina. The president is from Katsina, and the stories we've been hearing from the state and other states in recent times regarding security has been disturbing. Let's begin with you, Razaq.
Yeah, they are getting, the infantry is becoming strengthened every day. And that calls for concern, because every country must continue to build the morale of the military. The more of these guys that they get killed or arrested, the more numbers that are recruited in there. So you begin to ask the question that what is the what's enticing them? And the bottom line is this: in a nation, there are exuberances by youth. Nation must learn to invest the youthful exuberance directly to productive move. You encourage them to do research, be part of the production, part of the economy. That is lacking for a long time in the North. And that is what they should come back to. The Northern leaders should realize that all this army of unemployed youth, you have to begin to engage them. Now, there's the Eastern Commission now, not East Commission. While other states spend money to build future for their own children, the hard resources of Nigeria, you are using it to build another commission out of your own negligence. So it's not a good thing for the nation. And all hands must be on board. Let's support the president on what he has said. And let us encourage habitants of that axis to be cooperative to the security agent. It's not only about gun, because it's not absence of gun and bullet that led to the increase. It's essentially going back to where they missed that road. When the Northern are supposed to take a right turn, they took a left turn. All right. While the rest of the nation are building a securing feature for their own children. Okay, let's come to... They were found wanting. Dr. Ekere, this directive by the president, there have been directives in time past, and it turned out that the appearance and presence of military personnel in some of these communities even posed a fear, to the people, the inhabitants, who were, maybe at some point even scared of giving out information to security operatives to handle the insecurity in that area. How do you see it with this directive now?
Thank you. Well, in the first instance, I think it was the right step, but it shouldn't be limited to Katsina. I mean, there have been states in the news over insecurity. It should be secure Nigeria, not secure Katsina. Maybe the headline just perhaps took it out of context. Otherwise, if that is the statement, I think it was not the right statement. The statement should be these service chiefs, the instruction The order should be secure Nigeria, because practically everywhere in Nigeria we have this insecurity challenge.
But there have been different times there have been orders to service chiefs to secure different parts of the
exactly,
country.
but have they secured them? Have those places been secured? We see if banditry is an increase, all right? We are not even talking about Boko Haram now again. We are not. The emphasis is on banditry. People can terrorize a whole community. A community will start doing tithe and offering for criminals. You contribute money, otherwise by the next day they are coming, the place will be leveled and all of that. And the same thing is, it is extending, moving from one state to the other, to the point that on practically all major roads in Nigeria, you cannot move freely.
Well,
and we are talking about instructing service chiefs to secure Katsina. Is Katsina different from other states?
Okay, let's consider the comments by Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku. He says security challenges are beyond them as governors and is calling for state police. Do you see this as a solution? That has been the agitation in recent time, because there is now need for that. As a matter of fact, governors cannot control the CPs. You find a commissioner of police in your state, you cannot give direct instruction to the commissioner of police. You will wait for order from above before he will act, and yet you are called the chief security officer of the place. So it's creating a lot of challenge. I think that's why this issue of state police is being, the advocacy is on the increase by the governors. Let's have Razaq speak on
because some regions are placed at a vantage position to recognize what kind of limitation the nation suffers. The Southwest has recognized, because the agitation of state police we have been clamoring for, I've been part of it for 20 years now. So, but because of mistrust, people thought there were agenda behind state police. We knew we would go to this point. We knew it would come to a time where federal police will be harassed, the morale will be dampened, because security have measures, they have coloration. It's like I said, that you should secure the whole of Nigeria. Though, in my own opinion, Buhari is doing his best to. But what I'm saying is that peculiarities are different and challenges are different. In Southwest, there are patterns and methods we can employ that will secure our region. In the North, it's different. So it's a step in the right direction.
All right, so let's hope that the governors who are in charge of these states, independent, they would be able to come together, work with the security agencies, and fish out the perpetrators, as the president has vowed. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Dr. Ekere from the University of Lagos and Razaq Olokoba, Public Affairs Analyst.
It's a pleasure being with you.
And I have with me from the University of Lagos, Dr. Ekere is here, as well as Public Affairs Analyst Razaq Olokoba.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to see you.
And good morning, viewers at home.
All right. Let's start right away from the Daily Sun. That's where we'll start from this morning. Atiku versus Buhari. Judge steps down. Bukachua Appeal Court President disqualifies self from tribunal. There is no proof of bias by Justice. Buhari is revealing that. All right, from the Daily Sun, let's go to the Vanguard now. Buhari orders trucks, tankers to vacate Oshodi-Apapa Expressway in 72 hours. Issues 2-week ultimatum to clear entire Apapa axis, and task force compounds gridlock. Investigation is revealing that. Okay, from the Vanguard, let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper is where we go to next. Atiku's motion rejected as court president quits panel. Olanipekun hails Bukachua's decision. Ex-VP's lawyer, motion not personal. Okay, from The Nation, let's go now to the Blueprint. Secure Katsina now. Buhari orders service chiefs and IGP. 18 farmers killed by bandits, buried. The president vows to expose perpetrators. Ishaku says security challenges beyond us as governors and advocates state police. From the Blueprint, let's go to this day. Citing personal reasons, Bukachua withdraws from Atiku's petition. That's what this day is reporting on. That's on the front page of this day newspaper. From there, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. Atiku versus Buhari. Bukachua withdraws from presidential tribunal. Okay, still on this burning issue. From the Tribune, let's go to The Guardian. Many people don't believe Buhari cracks jokes and laughs. Okay, ministers pay tribute at last cabinet meeting, and president explains retention of aids till May 28, praises Ocholi and others. Gentlemen, I'd like us to start from there. The valedictory session at the Federal Executive Council was held yesterday, where it's seen as the last Federal Executive Council meeting for this dispensation until the next one commences from May 29th. Now, if you take a look at reports from the last 1 month, 2 months, there were reports of high-level lobbying and politics and, you know, jostling for new posts and all of that. I wonder if anything is unusual there. Dr. Ekere, let me start with you.
Thank you. I don't see anything unusual. That is part of politics, and you expect all manner of tradings going on, negotiations, lobbying, you know, new people who want to come in, those who participated in the electoral process, some of them, those who perhaps even financed it will want to project theirs. And again, you look at it from the point of view of those who have been there, what has been the performance? Can there be, assuming the man really has the intention to, you know, change the record, you want to look at how to improve on what has been done. So he is going to weigh several options. So that gives room for all the lobbying that has been taking place. But I am thinking that if truly we must move ahead, then there has to be some changes. There has to be some reshuffling. Some should be dropped. New ones should be brought in and all of that. Because if at the end of the day, if we go by the argument that, okay, if Buhari should drop the entire cabinet, there's an admittance of failure. It means that because these are the people with whom he worked. So if all of them are bad, then it means even himself.
All right, Razaq. So Razaq, as at now, one would imagine that the president already has an idea who will be in his next cabinet from this dispensation. Even though at the level of the political party, maybe they're still fine-tuning, you know, politicking and all of that. But there are calls from some Nigerians that there should be an injection of technocrats, real technocrats, instead of politicians in the next dispensation. What do you say?
All the guys there are people who have experience. So I don't know the definition of their own technocrats, because there's several angles to governance. There's a political angle. So you must bring in political technocrats too. And professionals too, okay, in their area of it too. Also, you must bring them on board. So there should be an equilibrium. As you are bringing technocrats in their specific field, you must also bring political technocrats who will understand the mood of the nation and what to say. Look at what Emefiele said the other time. He's not a politician. If you admit, we don't expect him to deceive us, but we expect him to tell us something consoling about what he has done, the challenge we have. So, for me, I gave them pass marks for their performance. They did well, and
the ministers, yes, so fine the last
they did well, and you don't change a winning team. Some should be brought, some to be brought on board. In the states, in all the states, at the state of the federation today, there's no place where you don't have a federal government, ongoing federal government. The effort by the past administration, Buhari inherited so many of it, and it's working for us today. Part of it is the TSA, the PVC, and a lot of other things. So government doesn't end with one administration, it doesn't end with one person. And one day, Buhari too, in 2023, may God spare our life, this time, 2023, we will also be talking about the new president of Nigeria. So what is important is that the recurring decimal should be the people. The guy is going to retain, and the new guy coming in must have one thing at the back of their mind, that we are coming on board to serve Nigerians. We don't, the executive took first in the three arms of governance. They took first. The judiciary took second. And the parliament, they took far third. If you can give them 4, you can give them 4, number 10. So they took far third position. They took last position.
That's your rating.
That's my own rating.
Now, Dr. Ekere, when it comes to ministries or ministers that performed, in your mind, which area would you say, okay, well, these people, this ministry tried and the other ministry should work better or something in the next dispensation?
It is difficult to say, to isolate any, because we are looking at governance as a whole. Yes, and even for Razaq to say the legislature was far behind, I think that was not correct.
Third.
Yes, you know, that was not correct, because they are part of the government.
7 month
it's all government, you know, and yeah, it's a function of the intrigues around government, and they equally need to show that they were not rubber stamp, and they look at what Nigerians actually wanted. So all of that played. But again, coming to the performance of the various ministries, I am really worried that as we speak, we are still paying for darkness. So many of the roads are still terribly bad. Nigerians are still, struggling with where to put their heads. So, yeah, despite that the man he has made all manner of efforts that I feel he has the capacity to do, I want to believe that we still need more. We need more, we need to inject more into that sector, the area of power, the area of housing, the area of, the infrastructure we are talking about. So that is, but Ministry of Finance, well, we will say they've tried because at least they've been able to beef up their generation.
Stabilize.
Yes. So to that extent, the entire compartments that constitute that area, CBN, the ministries, and what have you. Yes, I think to a large extent they were able to operate in a manner that gave the government to some extent. But my worry about it is that you'll be hearing the Federal Revenue telling you that within a quarter they generated about 5.30 trillion and the entire budget was just about 8 trillion. So you'll be wondering what the loans are meant for. If within this period, not the whole
because
year.
Because we have the Federal Revenue Service, we have the customs, all of them are raking in money.
If within half of the year you've generated over 5.30 trillion and the entire budget is 8 trillion, then I expect that within the next half, if you even generate only 4 trillion, you should have excess. But instead, what we get
about
is
the trillion from the customs.
Are you getting it? But what we get is the loans that are just, so I'm just wondering really where we are heading to with respect to
all right, Razaq,
yeah.
Razaq, in the next dispensation, what areas do you think the cabinet should sit up and try to bolster?
Well, the president should try to look at the area of restructuring. That's number one. Then number two, you have to sustain what you have met on ground. The challenge on power can't be heaved on by this administration. The power sector, the private sectors are not doing well. They are unpatriotic, and that blame should not be on the area of the
private sector is unpatriotic.
They're thoroughly unpatriotic.
Some analysts say they are the ones driving the country.
The previous administration, on power sector, on power sector.
Okay.
On power sector. Okay. The previous administration signed a very porous agreement with them that will constantly give them edge over Nigerians to exploit us, and just like I said. So that's not the fault of the government, it's the fault of the private sector. Then, indices shows that employment by government, through government facilitating to private sector, increased tremendously, particularly on infrastructure. All the roads, construction that were going on, they were employment. And in the last 20 years, infrastructural development has not happened the way it has happened in the last 3.5 years to this moment. That's what indices say. Then in the area of agriculture, our hope, we have now realized the need for us to feed ourselves. And we are moving away gradually from primitive agriculture to mechanized agriculture. Then, political consciousness has improved thoroughly. Look at the result of elections. Saraki is out. Even Dino that came back, he came back wounded. Many people were in Kwara, in Ogun State. The bosom child of Mr. President couldn't deliver the governor. In Oyo State, we lost it. So consciousness has removed, which means all the public office that are coming on board now is service to humanity.
Okay.
I think that consciousness should equally affect the way we make our agitations concerning governance. The president need to sit up.
Enlightenment from Nigeria as well.
He's always sitting up.
No, he's not.
He's not lying down.
He's always in the air.
All right, gentlemen.
Let him sit up and govern.
We're trying our image all over the world.
All right, Dr. Ekere.
I travel all around the world smiling now because
thank you very much.
I'm not the...
Razaq Olokoba, thank you very much as well for coming.
No, Southwest. We keep Southwest.
All right, let's leave it here. Let's leave it here now. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. All right,